Hello everyone. This is an introduction to our CT framework, Fast.io. What is critical thinking? It is reasonable and reflective thinking, which focuses on deciding what to believe or do. So I learn CT. We live in the information age, where we experience information overload. Critical thinking enables us to identify useful information, evaluate sources and develop an objective opinion when viewing different kinds of media. Hence we have come up with Fast.io. Firstly, from bottom up, we have F for fundamental mindset. A for asking Socratic questions. S for standpoint of others we consider. T for testify validity and strength of arguments. And the outcomes are independent thinking and objectivity. So how do we apply it in real life? We shall use this article as an example to illustrate Fast.io. First, we begin with applying fundamental mindset. Sometimes we may form initial opinions just by reading the title of an article. So one must adopt an open mind and temporarily put aside our bias. It is also important to be well informed by researching on related background to better understand the context of the article. Let's continue with asking Socratic question. Here are 4 kinds of Socratic questions that help to deconstruct an information source. For instance, by the quote from author, we can ask a follow-up probing question. Why would the author present such an evidence in the article? We can infer that the underlying assumption of the author could be that parents tend to expect more from the children in Singapore's education system. Then, we move on to the third section, the standpoint of others we consider. Based on the previous underlying assumption, we can identify that the author's standpoint may be that parents are a factor to introduce stress, or we can consider some other viewpoints that being listed here. Moving on to testify validity and strength of arguments. In order to testify the validity of the author's standpoint, we will need to check the credibility of evidence and how was the evidence being used to support her standpoint. According to the article, her supporting evidence mainly refers to a private tutor, which might not suffice to a strong factual evidence as compared to presenting a pool of private tutors. And this will lead to the next section of Fast.io, independent thinking. After viewing the article, one must develop her stand and be aware of attempts of persuasion through obscuring or misrepresenting standpoints and evidence. One must also stay alert of the hidden agenda of the author and build his standpoint without unjustified bias. Lastly, to develop objective opinion. In order to create a strong and comprehensive argument, one should not dismiss any unaddressed viewpoints. Thus, based on the article, we developed a standpoint which conclude that the article is insufficient in informing the reader that parents are the factor to introduce stress. With that, we have come to end of our video. Hope you enjoy and find our Fast.io useful.